Good evening. I'm so happy to be here, and my name is Ala Rogers, and I operated a gallery in Washington for 30 years. And during the pandemic, of course, art galleries are hit hard. It's hard to present art digitally, virtually, and to be able to get together and partner with such a beautiful gallery that is recently opened, the Mahari Sakara Gallery in Northeast Washington, D.C., for Black History Month. And we're here at the Venn Hotel, which is going to become, I think, a wonderful hub of connection for everyone in the D.C. community, the art community. And it's my hope that my participation in this is to build bridges and bring people together who don't know one another, and find new audiences for DC artists, and just have fun.
My name is Mahari Sokwa, and I'm the director of Mahari Sokwa Gallery on H Street. Hopefully you visit us one day. But just happy to be collaborating with our curator of Museum Nectar, Lauren Davidson, as well as collaborating with the Venn Hotel. So it's a great opportunity to showcase the artistic community, the Black artistic community here in DC. And it's good that it started in Black History Month and carrying on to the end of March, because Black History is 365. The exhibition looks fantastic. I hope everybody enjoys it, is provoked, and is enlightened by it. And I can't contain my excitement. So thank you. Bye-bye.
I'm Lauren Davidson. I'm the curator of The World in My Mind, which is exhibition, a part of the Venn Hotel's aVENues of Connection. I've worked with Mahari Sokwa Gallery to produce this exhibition of 6 African American artists who are based in DC, which really reflect upon the legacy of the Black arts community in this city. And so we've gathered 6 different artists, all with different media, all different perspectives on their experience, the life experience and experience within the city, to reflect on the Black arts community and how it's grown over time and the influences that they've made on the new artists that are emerging out of DC. Black art continues to be a voice for these artists, a voice, a political voice, a personal voice, and it really is a beautiful thing to see all of these perspectives shown in one room. I'm very excited to have you come and take a look. The exhibition is up through March 31st, and the Venn Hotel is graciously showing this exhibition as a part of Black History Month. But as we know, Black History Month is 365. And so please come and take a look.
Well, good evening. My name is Kristen Hayes Campbell, and I am very grateful to participate in this show, curated by Lauren Davidson. I'm standing in front of my works here. The title of the series, which is a short series of 2 pieces, and it's called Spirit Trees Fort Totten Series. And so the work is it's a description of things from nature that I found inspirational during the onset of COVID. And so with the onset of being isolated, I found a lot of solace in visiting a local park, which is Fort Totten, which is located in Northwest DC. I'm actually a native Washingtonian. I went to school in New York, but I returned shortly after and currently teach at Sidwell Friends Elementary. At the same time, I'm practicing my work at DC Art Studios. And so the work is primarily spirit-based. We're talking about energy. We're dealing with inspiration in terms of concepts of life and the overall energy that we gain from being exposed to nature. And so with this idea, the focus was to really hone in on how nature can actually heal us and breathe new life into our spirits as we go through challenges in life. The work here is described as the Grand Unified Theorem series, which was inspired by the work of Dr. Gabriel Ayibu. Dr. Gabriel Ayibu is a Nigerian scientist who developed a theorem on the origins of life. And I connected with this idea, his theorem, because he is basically, in layman's terms, making a connection to ancient Egypt and the overall origins of life. And so he describes, when we talk about ancient Egypt, we're talking about dark matter that's described as new in you. And so in my mind, I'm imagining what that would look like. I'm very much inspired by the concepts of ancient Egypt, which includes symbology, different principles that relate to nature, and so in reading about Dr. Gabriel Ayibu's work, I just took some time to visually imagine what those colors would look like, what the movement would look like, what the energy would feel like, as in my mind I'm describing how life began.
Hi, my name is Paula Manns. I am a native Washingtonian, and I'm also a collagist. This is my very first show. It is curated by Lauren Davidson in collaboration with Mihari Sekar. These 3 pieces are a part of a series I'm developing called We the People Who Are Darker Than Blue. It's a visual love letter to the people of the African diaspora. Collage, to me, is very emblematic of the diaspora because we are many parts to form a whole. So throughout this series, I'm celebrating the differences, the resilience, the beauty of the African diaspora by highlighting stories of Black people. It is called The Kind of Quiet That Strikes Up a Storm. It is a medium-sized scale collage piece. It's paper and acrylic, and it's really an ode to Black womanhood, young Black womanhood, showing our resiliency and our strength despite it all. This is the second piece. It's called Elegy. It pays homage to many of the young Black men that have been slain by police brutality. And this third and final piece is called See Me. It was created in response to a quote from Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. So it's really, while spectators are looking onto the piece is really looking back at you. So it really gives agency to the figure in the piece as the observer and the one to judge.
Welcome to African Art Beats Contemporary Art Gallery. African Art Beats was created in 2019 here in Washington, D.C. The gallery is located in Cleveland Park, and it's focused on artists from Africa and the diaspora. The artists are all contemporary, they're emerging and established, and I will let you at their beautiful work, full of energy, resourcefulness, imagination, dynamism, vibrancy. So, yeah. Here with what is it called? The herbalist. There you have Sadio from Senegal, one of Senegal's street art precursors. Sadio was very much inspired by Basquiat when he discovered his work. And we had an exhibit of his work last October, which was a huge success. Beautiful colors, lots of symbols, as you can see, for example, on this one. Lots of symbols, and each one has a meaning, of course. And he kind of records life as he sees it in the streets of Dakar and on its walls. So it's very much inspired by graffiti. Here we have Mene from Côte d'Ivoire, an artist inspired by rock art. He uses also kaolin and earth tones with very whimsical and happy creatures. He's a very positive guy and very much inspired by the innocence and the purity of the art that our ancestors would paint or draw on in the caves. So this is Mene, very poetic. We have then Gérard Gabayan from Senegal. Gérard has been concerned about nature and the environment for more than 20 years. So all his paintings that are abstract, beautiful compositions, very balanced, beautiful colors, Here, this one is made on burlap with collage, paper, pastel, acrylic, charcoal. It's written in Wolof, and these animals that he drew that are mythical wonder where nature has gone. Why do we cut trees? And tell us, careful, think of our children and think of our future. Suleiman Konate from Côte d'Ivoire, very much inspired by inside beauty, inequalities, values, and not by appearances. So all his work talk about that. Very, very bright colors and strange characters that we might not find beautiful when we first see them, but which are full of love and for each others and for humankind in general. Camille Tete-Azampo from Togo, he works with, so this is very hard work, very intensive. He works with metal, with antique enamel basins, or with metal boxes. And his work talk about globalization and also the destroying barriers between people and building a better world. So this work that he does, which is really hard, because he cuts the metal, he assembles the pieces, he sews them together, everything by hand. Talks about, gender also, although you cannot really see it here. But these basins that were collected by women in Africa, they talk about the lives of these women, their hopes, their, what they went through, their experiences. So it's also a celebration of women. Here we have, this is Renwright Dawson III. He's an artist from Haiti. He was born in Port-au-Prince, and he lives in Boulder, Colorado right now. As a child, he loved to, in the streets of Port-au-Prince, to pick up what he would find in the street and make, kind of artworks with them, and that's what he does here too. He uses his jeans, his clothing, glass beads, paper, cardboard, whatever, to create his characters. And here we have Miles Davis playing, his saxophone. Jean Sévonou, we're back in Africa, so we go on from one side of the Atlantic to the other. This is Jean Sévonou from Togo again. And Jean Sévonou always paint either people, so portraits, or fish. So the fish, like here, that's the spirit of the sea, Mami Wata, that many people worship on the west coast of Africa. And Mami Wata is here, has come, on Earth, and is playing the piano. So his fish are always very happy characters, but the portraits are always of very nostalgic people. Very strange, I don't have a portrait here, but it's always people looking at you with big, dark eyes, and a little bit like Modigliani portraits. And it's very interesting because, like most of these artists, they all are very resourceful and full of imagination. So here, he always uses, whether for portraits of fish, he always uses photographs that is washed for faces, and then to give texture, he applies mosquito net. So there is a mosquito net, and always these big eyes, a little bit like Ethiopian eyes, and a kind of cubist approach that makes the artwork very interesting. This is Sadio again, that we saw from Senegal. And here, our last artist here, so this is Marie-Henriette Gossikinde from Benin, and believe it or not, she's a nun, a sister, but she's also a contemporary artist. And her focus is on women and children. She's at the head of the gallery of her congregation in Cotonou, Benin. She gives art classes, she's in museums too. And usually she, paints on big pieces with all kinds of media. She uses fabric and paint and glue. These are small artworks. And she invented a technique, so she puts a lot of paint, or sometimes she uses, earth as well, or clay. And then she goes into the paint or into what she uses with some sharp instrument. So it's like a little bit like printing. You could put a piece of paper, some ink paper, and then print the drawing. So I think that was, these are all the artists that are here today, but you're welcome to come to the gallery in Cleveland Park to discover more of them.
Hello, my name is Edward Young. I'm CEO and founder of aVENues.com. We're here at the Venn this evening for art performance, art exhibit also. These are just 4 of the paintings that are submitted into the contest. One is Reacher, which means extending yourself to places and things that you haven't before. The other one is called Freedom, which you keep yourself out of self-bondage, continue, and realize who you are. The other is Orange Juice, is one of the more comedic things, abstract. A lot of people draw their own conclusions of it. And we also have Stand, which is a piece where everything around you is moving way faster than you, and you're able to sit still and absorb everything. Other than that, these are the 4 pieces. We have some more at aVENues.com, and we have another project coming up called The Exhibition. 10 paintings and 10 sounds, and people will be able to hear what they see and see what they hear. So we'll have it listed on the website, aVENues.com.